All right, we are live.
Hi everyone.
Hello everybody. Today we're talking about a figure drawing and anatomy, and these are the topics that are being covered.
Yep.
I need to go hit live on TikTok. I guess Christina can get started on talking about what we're going over.
Yes, we're going to be learning anatomy, and we're going to be starting off with proportions, different ways to simplify the torso, basic forms of the body. We're going to cover some torso muscles that are simple. Same thing with the arms and legs, just simplifying them and simplifying hands and feet. So nothing too crazy, but enough that you can just get something started and get your confidence up when it comes to anatomy. But yeah, I think I would say the main thing about anatomy is the proportions. So I feel like we're going to really drill on that because if you have proportions right, everything else will basically naturally come together the more you practice. Hello, Pandora Wolf.
Hey, Dahlia and Almond.
Yes, hello, Dahlia and Almond.
I got some people coming in. Let me, I got to ping the Discord. So, how is everybody doing today?
Yeah, hey,
Let me
Stardust.
go,
Some Jake fans will be pretty happy to see this.
there we go.
This is his imagination.
A lot of people,
himself.
Pandora Wolf, Daniana,
Oh.
Emmett, Jay, someone, Sprinkles, Fico Riggs, LOL, Jazzy, Finny, Kireji,
Hey.
Z, hello.
Hello.
Hey Stardust, how's it going? Hope you're doing good. Who's ready to cover some anatomy?
And get that over with.
Anatomy and figure drawing.
Yes.
Of course. As always, we will start with the proportions to set up the figure because anatomy is not very useful if we don't know where to put it.
Mm-hmm.
No painting class today. We were working today.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hey,
your
Jazzy.
lessons.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right, we'll put this to the side and get started.
All right.
Thank goodness for YouTube because this can be on forever.
Hey, Ginny.
Let's make this
All
a little
right.
smaller. All right. So proportions.
New layer.
Yes, new layer. Thank you.
Acquired my first ever concert tickets. Awesome. That's fun.
Sweet.
Again? Again what? Live again? Yes, we are. Yes.
That arm is insane. Well, thank you. We'll be actually covering how to do some arms later, so stay tuned for that. So proportions. Proportions is probably the most the most slept on step because everybody wants to learn this beautiful muscles and how to do that.
Yep.
But people don't really remember that, or people don't really realize that proportions are more important, in my opinion. So this is the proportion for the whole body. We start off with a line. You could follow along. So actually, I want to do this like a step by step, so I'll just copy and paste. Duplicate.
Getting spoiled with lives lately. Yeah, we've been going live a lot. Been having fun. Let me open up the YouTube control panel so I can actually see what's going on. There we go.
All right. So the first step is to draw a line and divide it in half. Just try your best to measure. Sorry about that. My throat got weird. Make sure to measure both sides and make sure they're around, pretty equal. This is the bottom of your pubic bone. So we'll say bottom of your pelvis. If you can't even read the halfway point. Yeah, this is the halfway point of the body.
Yeah, basically your legs are below that. This is the bottom of your pelvis.
The upper body is in this half.
How's the music level, by the way, chat? I want to make sure it's not too loud. If you can't hear it, that's also fine.
Upper body is in the upper half.
Awesome.
Yes, awesome. I can't hear Michi says.
Louder than usual, but I like it. Yeah, usually you can't hear it at all almost. I turned it up a little bit since last time. YouTube, you good for music? They're both independent of each other. Looks good to me.
Lower body is going to be the lower half. And we're going to basically continue building and splitting this in half. So once we have this halfway mark, we divide this in half again. And this in half again. These are the bottom of your kneecaps. Bottom of kneecap.
Yeah, how detailed do you want to go on this? Do you want to go like...
Should I go even faster? Or should I just go like more simple?
Probably maybe a little bit more simple.
Okay, then
just so we can start on anatomy relatively soon.
Sure. Then what I'll do is this. I'll actually erase this one, and we'll do this differently.
You want to do the 3?
I want to do the 3 because that's
Okay.
actually faster. So just split the bottom side in half, and this is the bottom of your knees. Then split the top part into thirds. Draw 2 little tick marks. And this is going to be where your
Yeah.
upper body is placed.
So maybe we'll just go 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3
Thank
of
you.
the top.
Of the top. Yep.
Yeah, this is big stuff. This is big stuff.
So,
Someone says I dreamed that June asked me to go out with her.
Oh.
Someone in our community has a imaginary relationship with one of our characters.
yep, at this point.
Well, let's just say there's a whole bunch of people with imaginary relationships with Jake. But
That's
you know.
true. So, this is where your upper body will be placed. If you want to find the head, you can just take this box right here, or this square, and divide it into thirds again. Best you can. Here, at the 2/3 mark, this is where your head is going to be. Your rib cage is going to be placed in the second box right here.
I was about to say there's more than one, yeah. Hey, I know this class for anime, but I want to ask, where do I start study perspective for anime? You know, funny enough, last stream. We did a stream yesterday. It's on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Draw Anime Academy. We actually covered perspective for like 3.5 hours yesterday. You can go find the recording of that live if you want. It's a really good live stream.
We should change the thing to Miki or something.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
It's been a while with June.
It has.
Or Miko, whichever one.
Students.
You can even do Tira.
Why don't we do Tira today?
Sure, Tira's cute. For those who don't know what I'm talking about,
Ooh,
our
smooth
YouTube
though.
thing has a little character on the side, so we change it every now and then. All right, so this is gonna be where your rib cage is going to be in. Now your torso is actually more like a rectangle because it's actually narrower. It's not like fits in a complete square, also be way too wide. So I like to narrow it down a little bit. I like to just make sure that the heights of these parts are about the same, but the width can change a little bit. It really depends on how other artists determine it. But this is how thick I make my rib cage, because the rib cage doesn't go all the way over here. And if we take our head and we just like drag it down a little bit to our bodies, it's like we can tell it's not like super wide.
Hanny,
Anyways,
start here. This is the perfect stream. We actually just started.
yes.
Starting with anatomy, you generally want to start with proportions. And how does one get better at proportions? Learn the proportions and then do it a bunch of times.
Yes.
You create that muscle memory by doing a whole bunch of figures. Do this a lot of times.
A lot of times. You're basically to the point where it almost makes you sick, but
Yep.
yeah.
Here,
Anyways,
let me do this.
Go ahead.
1/2. I just want to make it easy for people to see.
I think that's a great idea.
So this is 1/2, right? This is that halfway point right there. And then you have your third, and a third of the top.
Of the upper part of your body. So then you're going to take your third box right here, divide that in half, and this is going to be the start of your pelvis. And this is what's going to be called the 3-finger gap, which is basically how wide that... it's like the thickness of your pelvis, and it's about 3 fingers wide. So if you put your hands on your hip, and you feel that bone, and you lift your leg up, you know, that's generally where the limit of your leg is going to be, like lifted and stuff. So that's your 3-finger gap. Your pelvis goes down into kind of like a triangle, and you got basically the torso right here. Wow, it's not too bad, isn't it? If you want to figure out, you know, the width of your arms, or not the arms, the clavicle, you can take a hand length.
Does this method replace the 7/8 head one? This is an 8-head figure.
This is an 8-headed figure, yes.
This is an 8-head figure.
So if you want to find like the length of your clavicle is about 1 hand length apart on both sides. But in order to find the hand length on this drawing, what we can do is take our head and divide that into thirds. Actually, yeah, I think it's dividing into thirds, right?
Brow
Yeah.
ridge and then the bottom
Brow
of the
ridge and the
nose.
bottom of the nose. From here is the brow ridge. This is the bottom of the nose. Here, I'll just draw a little nose here. And this is the size of your hand. So you're basically going to take this measurement and just graft it to the other side. Or just like, you know, take this measurement and translate it onto the clavicle. 1, 2. And so hand lengths are a more detailed way to get like the smaller parts of the body, like the clavicle, the sternum, the opening of the rib cage. So if you're doing just like a torso shot, like this is great for finding those little measurements.
So one thing that I do want to mention is this hand length right here is half of one of these thirds. So 6 hands will fit in the upper body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because it's half of the top of the head to the pit of the neck, which is half of that upper box. So the you can even take your hand and go from the top of the head to the bottom of your nose, and then go from the bottom of your nose, and it will generally line up with your
pit of the neck.
Pit of the neck, which is where your clavicle comes together right here.
So
do you have a YouTube channel? Yes.
Yes, we do.
Draw Anime Academy. We're the same on all channels.
All right, so we got the clavicle. Now let's figure out the legs. And the legs are pretty simple because we already actually have this bottom part right here. So the bottom of the knees is this halfway mark in the second part of the bottom part of the body. Here's your kneecap. I like to simplify it to kind of like an upside down trapezoid shape. And then here is where your sits bones are. For guys, it's not going to get really any wider than your hips. Maybe just a tiny bit, but not a lot. And then so keep it narrow. Here's your legs. Your big leg bone and your tinier leg bones, and then there's your feet at the bottom. If you want to find the arms and where the elbow is, you basically just take your the bottom of your rib cage length, and this is where your elbow generally is. Can be longer, can be a little bit shorter, depends on the person. But this is like your average, so you can basically take this measurement, take this whole proportion system, and change it up depending on who you want to draw. So then your elbows on your rib cage, from the bottom of the pelvis, you're going to swing out.
Yeah, which is basically that halfway point of your body again.
Yeah, it is. This is the halfway point of the body. And then your hands end at around the thighs. And make sure that if you want to make sure that your hand length is, correct, just take this length right here that we just previously measured and, put it in here and see if it's correct. And if it isn't, just make it smaller or make it bigger. And there is your basic proportion system. Do you have a video on how to draw hands? No, we don't.
We have some TikToks on it.
We have some TikToks on it, but not like YouTube videos or anything. Do you use just a regular iPad to draw on? This is an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil.
iPad Pro 13-inch?
Yeah, iPad Pro 13-inch.
Yeah, we're not going to go in too much depth with the proportions. We're probably just going to keep it relatively simple.
I think
this is pretty much everything as far as your basic size ratios, proportions go. As a recap, we basically got pubic bone is the halfway point of the body. The top of the body is divided into 3 sections, a third, and a third. Each one of these is 2 hands long. All right, so the head is 2/3 of the top box. Again, this is an 8-head figure. The rib cage fills up the second box. It actually goes a little bit over right here, but the pit of the neck is the top of the second box. Bottom of the rib cage is the bottom of the second box. And then the pelvis fills up about half of the third box, the bottom half of the third box right there. That's pretty standard proportional measurements. If you take pretty much any figure drawing class, they're going to use something either exactly like this or very similar to it. It just gets you in the ballpark. What you really do is you learn a proportional method. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be this one. And then you get to the point, you practice it so much it becomes second nature. And then you tweak from there. If you want to make a character taller, if you want to make the head bigger, if you want to change it up. So you'll see that everything Christina draws on. Oh, there you go.
Yep, sorry.
Everything Christina draws is based on this. So this is the top 2 boxes of the body. And then there's the head on top, which makes the third.
And then if I want to draw the legs, I'll take this rough measurement, move it down. Whoops.
Always see your guys' video. Do you guys upload them somewhere? Yes, we do. We have YouTube. We're streaming there right now. Everything is automatically on the YouTube channel as a VOD. This one is called YouTube. What's this called? How to Draw Anatomy live stream.
Yes.
And yeah, we're live. It'll be up there forever, so you can rewatch it as many times as you want. And if you are on YouTube, if you're new, if you're one of the 27 people here and you have not hit that subscribe button, we would greatly appreciate it if you find this useful. Yes, and so you see that these people that Christina's drawing are actually really good proportioned. Like, and that is this method, right? So you can see that these people, like, their proportions are pretty good. And so, for example, let's say, like, you wanted to turn one of these into, like, a standard, like, anime character. Like, what if you did something like that?
Sure. Looks like Toby's here.
Yep.
Okay, I will duplicate this and turn this into, like, your kind of usual anime character. Should we do a girl? I mean, this is a girl figure. So what we can do is take this and start modifying it. We can make the head bigger, for example. Head bigger, smaller torso, but I'm still maintaining the same proportions as this, as this figure.
What do you guys called on YouTube? Same name, Draw Anime Academy. All right, Toby really wants a...
Oh, he probably wants a snuggle.
What do you have to say for yourself?
So some people are asking, like, okay, well, if I have an 8-head figure, well, what do I do if I have a 6-headed figure, a 7-headed figure? All you have to do is just make the head just a bit bigger, and it'll change just the ratio of the body to head just a little bit. But the proportions of the body will still remain the same. So here, for example, this head, since this head is much bigger, and this anime head
His name is Toby, T-O-B-Y.
T-O-B-Y.
You're so cute.
Mm-hmm. So I can start deciding if I want this torso to be longer, if I want this torso to be shorter, but I want to make sure that I still have that, like, 2x2, not 2x1 ratio, where it's like 1 unit wide, 2 units tall. So now...
He wanted to come up just so he could do this.
Aww. He's like, I want some attention. I can make the arms thinner or thicker, whichever. This is kind of like your general anime girl character. I'm going to, make the torso narrower. Maybe hips are a little bit wider. Notice that I'm actually changing some of the proportions a little bit because I find that maybe I made the torso too long. And then add the legs.
You can make her a little bit shorter.
Yep, you can make her a bit shorter, but as long as things stay, like, pretty relatively good in proportion, like, for instance, the hands are still on thighs, the rib cage and the pelvis are relatively, this structure, it looks good. It'll look fine. And make sure that your knees are basically about halfway here. So just, kind of check your work and just see overall, like, how you want to build your figure.
What if you want to draw a bigger body? Just size it up.
Size it up. In fact, what you can do for a bigger body is you can have a smaller head, larger upper body. Now this is for, like, a guy, for example. Smaller, but larger upper body that's more triangular. Lower hip, or a smaller, narrower hip shape. But remember, if I measure this height, and this height, it's still that same measurement. It's just a different body proportion on the top.
Yeah. This would be like a really muscular guy.
Yeah. Like a Jack Reacher type, I guess.
Same proportions. You're just basically just tweaking those boxes.
Yep.
Couple questions.
Yep.
Yes, this is Procreate on the iPad. It is an iPad Pro 13-inch, and it is Procreate. Do you teach how to draw heads in different angles? I have wonderful news for you. We actually spent 3.5 hours on a live stream yesterday teaching drawing heads at different angles and perspective. Do you want to pull that?
Yes, actually.
Pull that up.
I think it's right here.
We did all of this at heads at all these different angles. It broke down anime heads, drew a bunch of boxes, taught a bunch of perspective, and it was a really long stream, and it was very successful. So if you want to learn how to draw heads at different angles, go find our live stream on our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy.
Yep.
From yesterday, which was the 8th of July.
Yep. This was actually a really fun demo, and Colton did all the boxes, and I just put the anime heads in it. And it's actually a super fun exercise. And also, Colton gave a lot of homework on how to practice all this stuff. So he showed stuff like Krenz cubes and how to draw this. It's so satisfying seeing this, and also, drawing boxes in a fisheye grid.
Fisheye.
So all this is in that live stream.
Toby kicking, yeah, he's like sleeping.
Yeah, you cute,
Little baby.
Toby. He just wants to be held, huh?
He does. I've
That's
been
so cute.
I have been brainwashing him since he's 2 months old. So look, he absolutely loves
months old?
this.
Oh, you're so silly, Toby. Cute little Tobeans. All right. So, of course, we're not in the muscles yet, because if we don't get this generally in the right position, you're going to have a body that looks like, I don't know how to really draw bad anymore, unfortunately. But, like, you're going to start guessing where the torsos and the legs are going to be, and you're like, okay, why doesn't this...
fun character.
It is kind of a fun character, though. I mean, this could work, but if you're just guessing in the dark, like,
That's actually pretty sick.
It's kind of a sick body type, Sometimes, like, what if you end up placing the abs down here, and the pecs, like, up here, then things start looking kind of wrong. But I feel like when you become better, making these mistakes actually turns into a more interesting character anyways, but you get the point. We're not doing muscles just yet. We will do it soon. So, yeah, that's how I would use this method or this proportional system and build people on top. And you can even start, like, even with the pelvis. Like, you can draw this pelvis right here. I'm like, oh, I'm going to draw the legs like this. If I know that this is the same length as my upper body, then all I just have to do is just put that measurement up here. So take this measurement, take that measurement. Here's my upper body. Maybe it could be a little bit higher, but this is a rough estimate. And then I can just fill in the blanks. Whoa, we got a body. So just do this a million times. And you will memorize it. It will work. I found that this is actually easier. This proportional method is way easier than the other ones because you can actually, like, see... You actually can divide things in half. You can divide things into thirds, and it's easier to see things that way.
Yeah, we can cover some side view stuff in a little bit.
Yep. All right. So we covered proportions. Let's talk about ways to simplify the torso. So there's multiple ways. Some are very popular. So one of them is like the bean, which is, like a jelly bean, right? You got like a two elliptical shapes, and then you just like blend them together, and it looks like a bean. This is like your rib cage. This is your pelvis. This is great for, like, just getting something in really, really fast and something organic. Just got that really nice bend and swish going on. The second way is more like a pillow, or like a flour sack. It's the same concept. It's just maybe a little bit different, slightly different shape. This one's a little bit more like kind of boxier. This one's more organic. Both ways are good. You can literally just like create, draw a body and add arms and stuff onto this and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The third one is usually our preferred method, which is the envelope method, which is kind of like a flatter version. It's like a mixture between these two, but like simpler. So it's just it's just a rectangle, and you divide it in half, and that is your torso. And that's basically using that similar proportional method as we talked about earlier. So it looks kind of like a little envelope, like that. So that way we get the best of both worlds. We get that, nice bend and squish for the bean, and we also see the angle of the hips and the shoulders. And then we can just add and fill in the blanks here.
Mm-hmm. And again, those are the two boxes.
Yeah, those are the two boxes.
Upper two boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really the foundation of the figure. I would say out of all of the 6 boxes, these 2 boxes are the most important. Mm-hmm. These 2 thirds, two of the upper thirds.
Yeah. And then you can, add in a center line. And the great thing about this envelope system is that you can use the same envelope shape and just add a center line that changes the pose. So for instance, I can just draw this shape really quick.
He's so sleepy.
He's so eepy.
He's like meowing to come up, and then he's like wiggling around, and then I hold him upside down, and he's just like...
So cute. All right, we'll do 3 types. Or 4. We'll do 3.
So they're boxes then? They can be simplified as boxes?
Mm-hmm.
There's no one right way to do anything.
I mean, like, I've definitely simplified torsos where they're more like actual boxes. Here's my my rib cage box, here's my pelvis box, but I'm still keeping in mind of the proportion system when I'm drawing these boxes. Like, oh, like this is my pelvis, so I know that if I were to, like, this is like halfway down the third box.
His little feet sticking out.
I know. Oh my gosh. Guys, you want to show the toe beans?
Look at the little toe beans.
He's so comfortable. How do you keep everything proportional, like not making the body too long or legs too short?
That is the first part of the stream.
That is the first part of the stream. This is what we talked about earlier.
Keeping this proportional method in mind, practicing it a whole bunch of times, and checking. If you think something's too big, you can check.
Yep. You can be like, oh, is my legs too short compared to the upper body? So like, if my upper body and my lower body are the same length, if my legs are like this short, it's gonna look a little bit awkward. If you're going for more of like a average proportion figure. So you just check by going like this.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's too long, shorten it a little bit. If it's too short, lengthen it up a little bit and stuff like that.
You start to really gain a feeling for what's right. Like that's where the practice comes in, is you gain a sense of like feeling it.
Yeah.
Just after you do something so many times.
So we're going to talk a little bit about center lines with this envelope.
By the way, so for everybody here on TikTok, we are also live streaming on our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy, same name. If you missed out on anything, you can go back to the live stream and rewind it as much as you want and rewatch it a million times.
Yep.
It'll be up forever. So if you found us on TikTok and you want to see the beginning of the stream or any of our past live streams, you can go check out our YouTube channel. It'll be in the live stream tab.
Yes.
Howdy, Aaron. Clear Sky, hello. Silver Moon, hello. Does it work for kid proportions too? It is based on that.
It is based on that, yes. So, like, actually, we cover that in our book too. But if you want to do, like, kid proportions, at this point, I would actually start off with the head, because the head is much bigger in kids' bodies than adults. And then if you want to draw the body, I would be like, okay, from this head down, I'm going to determine that my body is going to be about this big. And so divide in half.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Here's my torso. My pelvis.
Yeah, you use this proportional method because proportions is like relative to itself, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like a relativity to itself. So you can change these proportions a bit.
Yeah. Now, if I think my head's way too big, I can make it smaller. But because the structure of my body is correct, like all this proportion is correct, if I make the head bigger or smaller, it wouldn't really make that much of a difference in terms of like changing it. Like it wouldn't look wacky, is what I'm saying. So I literally made the head smaller, and it still looks good. If I made the head bigger, it still looks fine. Yeah.
Those are chibis too. Yeah. This is literally just a chibi.
Yeah. This is a chibi. Actually, we have a chibi class, and the advanced chibi is basically like this proportion.
You're a little chibi.
So, he is a little chibi. Cute.
Bro, he's totally sleeping.
His tobies are so soft. Anyways, so yeah, let's talk a little bit about center lines and how the envelope system, or the envelope method, kind of works with that. This is the same shape. All I'm doing is I'm adding a different center line. So there's different ways that the body... Huh?
S-curve?
Yeah, this S-curve, yes.
Ooh, I love it.
Ooh, okay, right? So this is basically how the torso moves. Your body can move like, they can curl up like this, curling up, or they can bend forward. So this is the two types of center lines that show that movement. And then we also have a twist. So that a twist is more like an S-curve. That basically shows your rib cage is facing one way, your pelvis is facing the other. And so if you want to build poses off of this, these center lines are actually really helpful to find that as well. This center line is actually great for the back view as well, because it actually mimics the spine. So you can either, say, hey, my character is leaning forward. That works. Or we're seeing the back view of a character. So the center line works for both ways, which I think is, awesome. But yeah, that's how I would simplify the torso. It's like just really, really fun. And actually, if you want to add arms, you can just add like a little armhole on the sides and, pop in some cylinders. Oh, wow, we got torso with arms now. This arm can go forward. So once again, no anatomy yet. This is not even the part where we're adding like any muscle, like, and it already looks like a human being. You know, and for the most part, like most of your drawings will kind of look very simple like this. You know, this is where you can start adding some subtle things like, you know, breasts or the neck or whatever. But this is really all you need for the most part with drawing in general. Anatomy is more just information that you can add to your drawings. So like if you have that knowledge of anatomy and have drawn a bunch of muscles on top and you want to like emphasize some parts of the body, like, or the muscles, that's when the anatomy information will come in handy. This actually will be a video on our YouTube channel. We're streaming there currently, so this will be archived. And we actually do have a video on this, drawing bodies like this and covering the proportional system. I think it's this video right here. This video right here on our channel.
If you hate drawing figures, use this method.
Yeah. I covered this exact thing.
Yeah, this proportional method is in a video as well.
Let's zoom in a little bit. There it is, right there. So yeah, there is a video on it.
Yeah, that's our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy. Exact same username. You can go find it. You can also find it on our profile.
Is this a sign to study anatomy? Yes, grab your sketchbook and get drawing with us.
If you want to, you know, we're here with you.
When I first started teaching anatomy, my drawings were horrible. They were like weird, but you know, the more you practice and the more you teach it, the more you get better at it. So I've definitely been there where it's, you know, it was really hard to understand and all that stuff. So let's move on to basic forms of the body, and we'll talk about like adding limbs, like legs and arms.
How do we know how long to make the arms? From the top of the second box to swinging out from the bottom of the middle.
Yep.
And then you attach the hand to the bottom of that.
Yep. So you take the bottom of the pubic bone, you swing that out. That's the base of your wrist. Your elbow is going to be around your rib cage. And if you think about it, your arm, which we'll talk about in a little bit, you could just draw a line, divide it in half. This is your upper arm. This is your lower arm. Here's the base of your wrist. And here's your hand.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
that's
your
it.
deltoid connects to the top of that.
Yeah, deltoid connects to the top of that.
Yeah. Pretty good way to get a general arm proportion in.
And, you know, because our elbow is by the rib cage, here's the bottom of our rib cage.
Can't find the YouTube. Let me show you our channel.
Here's the bottom of the pelvis. Swing out. Hey, there's the base of the wrist.
This is the YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy, at Draw Anime Academy. That's our live right there. We are live. Oh my gosh. I actually like this thumbnail. It's funny.
It's cute. It's like goofy. I feel like a real YouTuber just by seeing that that thing.
You could even write our @
Yes.
if you want.
Draw Anime Academy.
@
Oh, oops. Yep.
There we are. That's our YouTube. It's Miki.
Miki. We got a Miki.
Do I believe my eyes? What drawing tablet? It is a iPad Pro 13-inch.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a character named Miki.
Actually, there was a June earlier too.
And Miki, my character is actually the girl on the book cover of our drawing book volume 2, How to Draw Characters. This is our book, and this is Miki. This is my character Miki. So awesome.
He's biased immediately.
Except Toby kind of got
Crap on
poop on this book yesterday.
He got poop foot, so he's a little idiot sometimes.
Does this also help with perspective? I mean, just drawing and practicing this will help get you better at perspective, but you're probably going to want to watch our last video from yesterday on perspective. Yep. Miki's my nickname. I think it's cute.
What's the real name?
What is the real name? Because my character's real name is Mackenzie.
Hey, Danny Draws. This is Procreate, by the way.
Michaela. Ooh, that's fun. I actually have bought the book. Oh, awesome.
Awesome. All right, so we'll talk about basic forms of the body. Oh, our laundry's done. So we talked about the envelope method, but we haven't really talked about like boxes and stuff. And if you want to like draw boxes properly, you can check out our last live stream, which is on our YouTube channel. But basically, if we know how to draw boxes in different angles, we can basically draw anything. And we can, yes, the book is on Amazon.
Yeah. Both of our books are on Amazon. I'll show you the covers.
Yep.
So you can see them. So this one's called Anime Academy, How to Draw Manga. It's got Miko on the front, who's Miki's sister. And then volume 2 is all about character design and drawing characters. And this is what it looks like. Anime Academy, How to Draw Characters. You can find both of them on Amazon.
I just had a thought. What if Miko, since she was preemie, she maybe had some health issues at first, but then she grew to be healthier later?
Could be.
Kind of interesting. Anyways, so here we have our envelope system, or envelope method. This is our torso. And if we want to simplify this and add some perspective onto this, we can just add a side. Oh, we can just decide how much of the side do we want to see. So here's one side of the box. Here's another side of the box. Wow, it's a box. Isn't that cool? So this is also where we can see like where the arm is attached. And here's our pelvis. Here's our pubic bone area. And what I like to do for the pelvis sometimes is actually simplify this to like a triangular prism, which looks like this. And this is kind of like add on, like if this is a female body, this will basically be like a fat pad that is added onto this form. And then here's a rib cage. And our rib cage is kind of like an egg shape. It is smaller, narrower on the top, and wider towards the bottom. Looks like an egg. Here's your pelvis on the bottom, and the squishy middle, which is your obliques and stuff, is like Play-Doh. This is the kind of a very, very extreme breakdown of the torso.
Welcome aboard, Blue.
Hi.
Fine, I'll join the class. Following. Let's go.
So yeah, there is your squishy middle.
Yeah, this is a really good breakdown. I first heard about this class, or this method, in Kirk Shinmoto's figure drawing class. It's pretty common, but I took a live class of his in Brainstorm in Burbank, and he broke down the body into, the egg, the Play-Doh, and the box. And that's a really, really good way to break down the upper body. Again, this is the top 2 boxes, right? So what she was talking about earlier, right? So these 2 boxes, this box right here and this box right here, can be simplified into, where is it? Egg, Play-Doh, box.
And if I were to just draw that 2 boxes over, here's the bottom of the rib cage. Wow.
Yep, there's those 2 boxes.
There's those 2 boxes. I actually made this a little bit too high, so it's actually like more like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, roughly it's good enough. Miki
Is the
followed.
live available to watch later? Yes. Miki followed. Thank you. Oh my gosh, chat. Let's go.
Oh, oops.
New here. Little question, is live available? Yes.
Yes.
You can watch it as many.
I mean,
Kirk Shinmoto studied under Glenn Vilppu. Yeah, I took Glenn Vilppu's classes as well. They're really good classes. I think he still teaches to this day, unless he's not around anymore. Very good figure drawing classes, you know. A lot of people learned from Glenn Vilppu. Will Weston, Kirk Shinmoto. But although Kirk Shinmoto is more in like the animation industry, he's more of like a VizDev artist. But he has got really good stuff.
I just thought of it. I feel like it'd be just really evil if we made this like really, really in-depth thing, and it's just never on our channel ever. Like nobody can ever watch it. That's like a chaotic evil.
Yeah, you can rewatch this as many times as you want. It's going to be a live stream.
Yep. Oh, happy birthday, Masu.
Happy birthday.
So, now, you know, we got our rib cage, we got our pelvis, we got like the basic structure of our torso, which is, you know, we can use boxes for that. The next part is kind of figuring out like our legs and stuff. So if we want to just reconstruct the body, we can just take this and add a head on top.
Again, the reason it's so important to study that proportional method is because you just use it in every single figure.
Actually, let me make the head go this way.
You know what's really difficult? When you have something above and you try to, you're battling squishing it to fit it and drawing it like the right size.
Yeah.
You know when you like reach the edge of a page and everything becomes squished?
It really do be like that.
Follow y'all on YouTube and TikTok. It's worth it. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah. And notice how when I'm adding in my legs, it's like super simple. It's literally just like sticks, stick figure. This is like a more advanced stick figure if you just think about it that way. And I'm just using this to make sure that my proportions are right before I add any detail. So if you are the type that is like, oh, I got to draw my leg, and I don't have like any of this, let me see here, and I don't have any of this in mind, I'm just kind of drawing like what I think how long the leg is, and oh, like maybe the leg is like this. You're gonna end up with stubby legs, and this is good and all, it's just not fitting this proportion specifically. But anyways, yeah, that's what ends up happening is you end up guessing, and then the length is wrong, and you have to erase it and redraw it. So that's why I always play it safe. Just draw in the actual length, figure out my pose a little bit, and then once I determine that this is long enough, then I move on to the next step.
Which is?
Which is forms.
Okay, and that's what you're covering
yes,
right
that's
now?
what I'm covering right now.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
I didn't know what you were covering right now.
Yeah. So here, there's multiple ways to do both the legs and the arms. I think the simplest way for arms and legs, just to get something in, is cylinders. Mm-hmm. That way you can see, what's the top of the cylinder, what's the bottom of the cylinder, are we looking at it from the front or the bottom, or, all that stuff. This shows rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, procreate.
Mm-hmm. You can do this for legs and arms, both. And I find that, you can even modify this a little bit by making, one side thicker, one side narrower.
Are you guys married? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. But I find that it's kind of hard to see, to determine what's the side of an arm or what's the side of a leg. So actually, boxes.
Well, one thing I want to say about cylinders.
Do it. Go ahead.
This is not a cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a cylinder. You can only see a cylinder if you can see the top or the bottom or a wrapping line. So, if you want to draw, say, an arm, right? Let's just draw an arm like that. We don't really know what direction this arm is facing unless we can see some wrapping lines. That will give you your orientation. For example, it could be, why is this not undoing? Thank you.
It could be turning away from us.
Yeah. It could be going away from us instead. So you actually can't tell what direction this is going unless you add wrapping lines or end caps. Later on, when you're doing costume drawing, you can actually use the clothes and the folds to show those wrapping lines as well with cast shadows and stuff. Mm-hmm. But just keep in mind that if you want to add three-dimensionality to your drawings, you have to show the form in some way.
Yep. So the other way, which is usually my preferred way if I really just want to see what the side of the arms or legs are, is just boxes. So here, drawing a box that's slightly facing up. Mm-hmm. That means we'll see the bottom of this box. And we see the side of this box. Front, side, bottom. Maybe this leg is also, in the same orientation.
No, we don't live in LA.
And then the feet can also be like a little wedge.
Do you know if there's a way to draw easily without knowing squares or just 3D shapes in general? If you can't draw in 3D, you're going to have a very difficult time drawing anything in 3D, which is almost everything you're ever going to want to draw is in 3D, unless you're doing abstraction, pure abstraction. What did Robert Limmer call that?
There's representation art, and there's abstract. I think it's just impressionist.
Yeah, if you can't, it's like saying how do I write a book if I don't know how to spell any words? It's like,
can I write a book without spelling any words?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like 3D is the vocabulary of art, of representational art. Representational art being something that represents something else. In this case, this represents a body, right? So if you want to do abstraction, that's totally fine. If you want to represent things, you're going to have a really difficult time because everything exists in 3D space.
And if you want it to be accurate, you would have to understand that this is what goes underneath.
Yeah.
So this leg.
It's going to be difficult. You could try, but you know, I mean, in 3D is literally just as simple as one thing going in front of the other, right? Like you could have, like this implies depth right here. Is that not in?
Yep, there it goes.
Right? This series of shapes right here implies perspective. Like I haven't found my vanishing point. I haven't found my horizon line, but just the fact that these are overlapping gives you a sense of three-dimensionality. Right? You could even draw this back like that. So if you can't draw in 3D at all, it's very difficult to represent 3D objects.
Yeah. And for those of you who have been with us in the previous stream, this is basically a 1 to 3 box that's facing up. Because we see a little bit of the bottom, most of the top, and we see a tiny bit of the side.
Yeah, if you watched yesterday's video, that box right there is mostly facing up. Yep. It's facing a little bit to the side.
It's this box right there.
Yeah, it's basically that box. Yep. Except it's just a lot longer.
Yeah, it's just a lot longer of a box. You know, we could do the same thing for the arms. Let me first add in my proportions. So if I want this arm to be bending and on the side, I make sure that my arm is bending where the ribcage ends. I want to make sure that my upper arm and my lower arm are roughly the same size. Here's my hand. So I have my proportions all set up. Let's do another one. Maybe we'll add a bit of a curve to this one here. Oh, wow. There we go. And we can add in our basic forms, which can be either cylinders or boxes, but in this case, we'll do boxes. So the box for the arms is interesting. You want to actually talk about the width and the... So, okay, let me think. Here, I feel like you're better explaining this one. Arms, boxes.
The upper arm is a box that's narrower from the front than it is the side.
Yeah. So this is the front. This is the side.
Yeah, if you want to build the structure of the arm, you're generally going to get wider from the side, narrower from the front. That's your upper arm, right? That's the bicep. So like right here, narrower from the front, wider from the side. Like you can literally see it on my arm against my black shirt, right? Wider, narrower.
Yeah.
Like it's a box that's a lot wider. It's like 50% wider than it is thick. And so you can draw it that way and it'll help you structure the muscles. Now the bottom part of the arm generally starts as a cylinder and then turns into a box towards the wrist. So you could probably even just draw it on that one that you drew up there.
Oh yeah, here?
Yeah. So starts as a cylinder, turns into a box, and then you can kind of fade that off. And if you want to be, if you want to be kind of fancy, you can just imply the radiobrachialis right here.
Ooh, fancy. Ooh, that's fun. It's just a muscle. I mean, we'll talk about muscles in a bit.
I can actually grab this little figure right here.
That's really satisfying to look at.
Let me just take this arm off.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
Wider, upper arm, right? Upper arm right here.
Hell.
Wider, narrower. You can literally see that it's a lot wider than it is. And so you've got this lower arm. You can simplify it as a cylinder, and then it can go into a box at the wrist.
Mm-hmm. Actually, if you look at this arm right here, it kind of has this shape. We got our deltoid. We got our bicep and cylinder. And then this is kind of like a hinge.
Yep.
Looks like that. How it connects. It's interesting.
Yep. Thank you for all the follows.
Yes. Wow.
Let me go ahead and read some of these off. Let me
Do
just
it.
scroll up a little bit. Savitar, Serena, Natty, It's Just Ghost, Sam, Ghost, Risa, Ian Got Motion, Yo Fukashi, Chloe, Leah, Rodrigo, I can't read that name, what is that? Liriana. If I butcher anybody's name, I apologize. L, Beds, Yami, Miranda, Leilani, Jose, Bass Guitar, Avery, CC, Forum, Cheesecake,
Ooh, cheesecake.
Alejandra, Soldier, Psyche, K. Thank you for the follows.
Thank you.
A lot of people coming in and following.
Yeah.
What's gotten into chat lately?
I don't know. Just today, the past few streams have just been wild.
Yeah, a lot of people here.
So yeah, this still looks like a person, but no muscle yet, right? Because when we add muscle, like, we got to make sure that this is our foundation. This is the structure. So if you're like thinking of sculpting like an armature, or like sculpting like some kind of person, you would always need like some sort of thing to hold it together, right? People would use, like, I don't know, tin foil and build like a little simple armature, and then they would sculpt on top of that, right? That's our skeleton, and the things that go on top is, you know, your muscles, and then after that is your skin. So think of it in that concept. The proportions is your armature, your basic structure. It's kind of like filling those blanks in, filling the thicknesses in. And then the last thing is anatomy.
Really?
What?
They made the manga Rooster Fighter into an anime. Is
Really?
that true? Christina and I read that a couple years back, and we were just like, they so need to make this an anime.
I know, it's so anime.
Oh, that's
my
going to be
gosh.
great.
I'm so excited to watch the anime. I loved Rooster Fighter. I only read one volume, but it
pretty funny.
hooked me. It hooked me. I wish I read the later volumes, but... It's like a Victor and Faye chicken. That's basically what it is. Anyways, so we talked about the basic forms of the body. Let's talk about some of the juicy stuff, which is some torso muscles.
Yeah, we should probably make a new layer.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, let me just merge all this stuff. No, actually not this one. There we go. So let's talk about torso muscles.
Torso muscles.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off. We're gonna do a male one because male body, because generally they're a lot easier to see on male bodies. And what I'm doing for a male body here is I'm actually making the upper body a little bit wider, and then the bottom part of the pelvis or the torso a little bit narrower. But I still make sure that the height is good. So
This is those two
Boxes.
upper boxes, by the way, from
Yes.
earlier in the stream. This is those two boxes.
yes, same height, same height. Divide that in half.
Mostly the same height.
Mostly the same height. It just has to be good enough. You can always change it later and fix it up. Here's my center line, which is that C curve.
This guy's arm is off.
Actually, let's pull that figure. Maybe
want
we'll
this
take
dude?
the upper half off.
Nah.
No? Okay, yeah, that's right. So,
Don't worry, I've covered something with a kneaded eraser.
yeah. So this is the skin side, this is the muscle side, and we can actually see the muscle side a lot clearer here. There's really only a few muscles that you need to think about. There's the pecs, 1. Your abs, 2. 3rd, obliques. 4th, serratus anterior, which is these little zigzaggy ones here. And then your 5th one is your deltoid. Well, actually also your traps and your sternocleidomastoid. But there's
You're
not
going
really
out of
a
frame
lot.
a little bit.
Huh?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. Oops. So that's your traps, which is part of your back muscle, and then your long band of neck muscle, which is your sternocleidomastoid.
A much needed eraser.
Much needed.
Wait.
So it just looks complicated because it feels like there's just a lot of muscles, especially with the muscle fibers, but there really isn't that much. So let's actually draw this, and we'll actually turn this to the side here so we can actually see what's going on.
Hey, Captain.
So here's your rib cage. If we remember correctly, our sternum is about 1 hand length, and the opening of our rib cage on both sides is about 1 hand length. For guys, the rib cage is going to be about a 90-degree angle. It's going to be wider, broader. Can add in our arms. Oops, thank you.
There we go.
Can add in arms really quickly just to get something in.
I bought Procreate just for this and left my iPad at my aunt's house.
Oh.
Rip. I know that feeling.
I know that feeling too. Here's the neck, which can be simplified to a cylinder. All right, so that's like your structure, right? You made sure that your proportions were good.
Let's go.
Now let's add the stuff.
Look
on
at
top.
this. This is the framework that holds everything together. This is the important part that nobody wants to do. Everybody wants to focus on the muscles, but this part leading up to it is so important. It's so incredibly important.
Yeah. So let's kind of just add in some bony parts, like your clavicle.
Yep.
And it's kind of like a bicycle handle.
Yep. So you've got Clavicle, which is your
Clavicle.
bone that connects right here. You can feel it. If you go right here, you can feel
Whoa.
that bone. It's kind of like a bicycle handle. Wraps around and connects to your scapula on the back.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of looks like
Yippee.
this from the top view. So this is your neck hole. Here is your clavicle.
Dahlia
Dahlia.
on YouTube with the $5 super chat. I don't actually know what to type today. Thank you guys for everything. Everyone should check out Anime Art School.
Yes,
Thank you. Yeah, we actually do have a complete foundation school with a whole giant anatomy class that covers all this stuff in depth. It covers perspective, it covers anatomy, it covers clothing drawing, it covers rendering, painting, backgrounds, character design, all that kind of stuff. You can check it out on our website, drawanime.com, or in the linky on our profile.
Yes.
Otherwise, we do go live. We do these live streams for free all the time and hang out with you guys.
Yep.
Are we live often? Yeah. So we've actually been going live almost every day, for the past couple days. But generally, we just do Mondays and Fridays these days, and we'll do some Saturday streams and stuff like that.
You guys taught me how to draw since middle school. I'm in uni now. Wait, how many years is that?
Oh my goodness, that's wild.
Have you really been?
Technically, we did launch our teaching stuff in 2019.
Yeah, were you in middle school in 2019? That's wild.
Oh, thank you for all the follows, everybody.
Wow,
Ocean,
thank
La
you.
La La, Ado, Toro,
La La.
Gingy, Number One, I'm Lost, Crystal Violet, BYNX, Nushi, Talk, Mailing, like Card Captor Sakura Mailing, Portals, Proxy, Leaf. Awesome.
Wow.
Hello, thank you, everybody.
A says I was graduating middle school at that time. Oh wow, time flies, huh? That's wild. You guys, you've been with us for a very long time.
Emperors, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and rewatch the stream later if you want. Our YouTube channel is Draw Anime Academy, and this is going to be up there forever.
Yes.
Bravo, teaching and changing lives.
Thanks. All right, so next, the two muscles that I've just drawn right here is your neck muscle.
Yo, sternocleidomastoid. Long name.
Long name, but it's a band of muscle that goes from the back of the ear down to the clavicle. It's a very iconic looking. It's a very iconic looking
You
muscle.
can see it right here.
Yeah.
There it is. Zoop. It connects to the little condyle. I think this one's called a condyle. On the behind your ear, on the base of your skull, it's actually this little nub. Here's your skull. It's this little nub right here. It connects there, and it comes down, and it connects to the pit of your neck, to your clavicle.
And there's actually a little.
Yeah, it splits off just a little bit.
Splits off just a little bit.
But you don't see it unless the person's super jacked.
Super jacked or very lean.
Yeah, very, very lean.
But I like to add it in there.
Sternocleidomastoid.
This is I feel like that's the hardest name to remember, sternocleidomastoid.
Yeah, you just repeat it. I remember the first time I ever heard the word sternocleidomastoid. It was like 2013 or 14, and I was watching those Level Up guys on YouTube. And Wojtek Fus, the Polish artist, was teaching portrait drawing, and he was talking about the sternocleidomastoid.
Oh, wow. So then your next muscle. So look at all these bands of muscles. We're going to ignore that.
Applejack is super jacked. You're right.
He is
literally
jacked.
like an oak log.
Applejack, super jack.
Yeah.
So all these muscles right here, we're just going to ignore because it's not really, we don't really see them. We more just see the sternocleidomastoid and the traps, which is, we see a hint of that in here. So that is kind of like a triangular shape.
That little gap.
That little gap right here is kind of where all the other muscles are.
Yeah.
But it's most of the time, like, if you do this.
If you... Actually, I can't even really do it.
It's kind of hard. You hunch over and you really flex that area. You can see that indent.
Yeah,
from
it's like
your
right
clavicle.
there. Ow! I almost got a knot.
Oh no! Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Ghost.
I shouldn't move my body in that way.
Yeah.
I'm turning old.
Maybe we should do some Pilates with me.
How'd you guys learn anatomy? A lot of anatomy classes, a lot of anatomy books. Actually, I want to have an intermission really quick.
Yes.
And we can talk about a couple of anatomy books if you want.
Do it.
Okay, so number one, fantastic figure drawing book. We've got
It's like
Michael
an OG.
Hampton, Figure Drawing Design and Invention. This is an OG, really good book. Michael Hampton, Figure Drawing Design and Invention. This is a classic book. It covers a lot of really good stuff. He still teaches classes to this day. He covers a lot of anatomy in his books. Talks about the different muscles. This is very similar to what we're covering today. Talks about a lot of figure drawing.
really like
He
that.
also has a great YouTube channel as well. He uploads a lot. Very nice dude. Michael Hampton, Figure Drawing Design and Invention. Number 2, another classic, Morpho by Michael Loricella. I might have said his name wrong. Morpho, Anatomy for Artists. This is a very good book. It talks a lot about anatomy. It's not really on figure drawing. It's mostly just an anatomy book, but it's small. It's very thick. It's absolutely packed with a lot of stuff. Here's a bunch of different views of the arms. I've actually been studying a bunch of this lately. And it labels all the muscles. Morpho, really, really good book. This is another classic, really classic. Constructive Anatomy by Bridgman. This is a really good book. I have to make sure I don't open them to naked people. Let's find something cool.
Probably the arms.
Bridgman.
Ooh.
Constructive Anatomy. You can find all these books online. There's that one. Here's another one by Morpho. This is a little book. It's Simplified Forms. It's basically on anatomy, but like it's a little bit more simpler, a little bit more turned into simple volumes. Actually. It's a very good book. Simplified Forms.
I didn't even know we had this
Next
book.
one.
Let me check this out.
Big book. Expensive. Relatively expensive. This one is Stonehouse's Anatomy. This is a really good book. It's extremely thick. It's very, very, very detailed. This guy's an amazing artist. He got help from Kim Jong-il to build this book. He built it over years and years.
Kim Jong-il
and I'm telling you, like, it has a bunch of breakdowns talking about how stuff works. Here's like the radius and the ulna and how the radius will overlap with supination and pronation. And just a lot of really good breakdowns. Talks about where all the muscles connect. It's very, very detailed. Again, that is Stonehouse's Anatomy. You can find this on Superani. I wonder if Superani is written somewhere here. There it is. Superani. There you go. Let's find another one. We've got... This isn't an anatomy book. I mean, this is an anatomy book, but it's not a drawing book. It is Strength Training Anatomy. This is for bodybuilders, and all of these muscles are detailed out in like really, really detailed.
How much does it cost? Which one? The Superani one?
I don't know. You'll have to look it up. It'll depend on what language you get it in. Right? A lot of really good stuff. Talks about all these muscles, where they come from, where they go, what they're called. This is a very detailed book, right? This is for bodybuilders. So you're getting really detailed stuff in here. It's a good book for reference. If you're trying to like learn anatomy, it's a good book to have on hand. Next one. Anatomy for Sculptors. This is a classic book. Classic.
It helps so much.
Anatomy for Sculptors. This book I have to be very careful with because there's a lot of not dressed people in here.
Not dressed. Undressed. Not dressed. It honestly, seeing all these breakdowns really helped me with like breaking down the muscles like into basic forms. It's just so good.
Yeah, like a lot of really good stuff. It breaks down a lot of different muscles, their locations.
Oh, the pronator
and
teres. That's that band.
Oh.
Band across.
The more you know.
Yeah. It's actually very similar to the leg.
This book particularly actually has a lot of breakdowns of how things work in like a really simple way. This is a great book. Let me try to find. Don't want to show that. Where the heck?
I mean, where's the simpler ones?
I can't really find any right now. But Anatomy for Sculptors is very good, right? Very good book. And I'm going to take all these and head off. And then, of course, I can't forget, we actually have 2 books ourselves, right? We have Anime Academy, How to Draw Manga. This is volume 1. This is our book. We are the authors.
Go to the anatomy section.
There's us on the back right there. And where's the anatomy section? Is it yellow? No.
I think
probably
it's the
red.
beginning. There it is.
Here. You can go through some of that if you want.
So this is talk about like arm muscles and stuff and arm muscle breakdowns. I've labeled all the muscles in here as well.
What's one called that's big and expensive? Stonehouse's Anatomy.
Stonehouse's Anatomy.
Like stone, like the rock, and house, like the thing you would live in.
Yep. Legs, booty butts, oops, hands, breakdown of hands.
Yeah.
Structure and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is like a information intermission, lot of different stuff.
Torsos, how to break that down as well. So yeah, that's what we go through, and it's more of like an anime style. But a lot of drawing anime is about also drawing realistic things, because we got to make sure that it looks good, right, and proportional. So if you want to, that's why I do this a lot. Is I just do these studies all the time.
I don't think you realize, chat, but Christine and I, when we live stream and teach this stuff, we're actually practicing to get better ourselves. That like every single time I have to draw a set of boxes on stream, it's just one more set of practice that I got.
Yeah, so this is why I love these kind of crochet models, is because you can see the ones where it looks like the skin is over on top, and you're like, okay, well, how do I know which muscle is which? Well, you could just go on the other side, and you're like, oh, that's where all this stuff is. So, first muscle that we're covering is the deltoid. It's a shoulder muscle, and it has 3 heads. It kind of looks like...
Do you guys have a book or document I can follow? We have 2 books.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by follow.
Document?
I should probably check these back here. A lot of books, a lot of good books.
Yeah, we do have a lot of good books.
There's a couple other books. We got a couple other anatomy books lying around, but those are my favorites. Where did you get the model? I think it's by 3D Total. 3D Total. It's just a male. We have the female one as well, but there's certain reasons we can't show that one on stream. We need more kneaded erasers.
Yeah. So this is a deltoid. It has 3 heads, one on the side, one in the middle, another on the back side.
We're gonna find this book you made. Amazon.
Amazon.
You can look it up. Anime Academy, How to Draw Manga. We have those 2 books. You can order them. He needs a coin. He needs a fig leaf.
Oh yeah, he does need a fig leaf.
Ham into bodybuilding. Nice.
So here, the deltoid actually connects to the clavicle, but there's actually a gap, which I think is very interesting, between the pecs and the...
Just ordered your book.
thing
Awesome.
itself.
Appreciate it. If you guys have our book, by the way, one of the best things you can possibly do is leave a review on Amazon.
Yes.
That is like, it doesn't cost you anything. It helps us out a lot. So if you get a lot out of our content, hitting follow on social media and hitting like on the video, and also if you have our books, go ahead and leave a review on Amazon. That would help us out a lot.
So now this body's starting to look more like, oh, like actually, juicy, like things look more complicated. But it all started with something very simple like this. So now the next one, which is one of the most iconic muscles in my opinion, is
Thank you, Maori.
pecs.
Is Maori? Is that how you say it?
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
So this is your pecs, and if you just look at it and squint, it kind of looks like a trapezoid across the body. Here's the opening of the rib cage, and so you'll notice that the pecs don't go below this point. It's a little bit above that. If you go below it, then you don't have any room for the rest of the muscles. So what I would do is I'll take the opening of the rib cage, and I'm drawing on a different color, and I would mark where I would generally want the pecs to go. I'm gonna wrap that around to the other side. Kind of looks like a trapezoid, and it goes underneath the deltoid. You'll also see this indent right here, and notice that there's actually not really much of a cleavage. It's more like they're sectioned off separately, and this is because this part right here is your sternum. This is a bony part in the middle of your rib cage, which protects your heart, and your pelvis kind of stops there. So that's why there's like a little gap in between.
Kiki, hello.
Hi, Kiki.
Worm, Billy, Mercury, Claire.
If you want to...
Bray Donna, thank you for the follows.
If you want to know the form of the pec, it kind of looks like this. Or the shape of a pec, it looks like this. It connects to the humerus bone, and it kind of twists a little bit. It looks like a little sunfish or something like that. Looks like a goldfish cracker to me in some ways. And yes, there are different, like, pec muscles, but we ain't going to talk about that. We're just going to call them the pecs.
Yeah, there's like the pectoralis minor, pectoralis major.
Yeah. So a lot of these lines will gravitate towards this point or this area right here. So that's why we see these lines.
Juicy.
Juicy lines. And, for me personally, I like shading the bottom of it because it's a three-dimensional form. It's kind of like a box.
You're going to get kind of like a ridge along the bottom.
Yeah.
Especially if the person works out a lot. Does a lot of
Like,
those,
see?
like push-ups and stuff.
There's that, like, bottom side of the pec.
Yeah, really
Bottom
clear
side.
form right there.
So this is the part where it screwed me up for a little bit. This is actually where the abs start. It starts right underneath the pecs. It actually covers the opening of the rib cage. So if you want to just draw the abs in really quick, it's basically kind of like almost a straight line. It looks like this. This for guys.
On a male, yeah.
On a male. But this for girls. Slightly hourglass shape.
Yeah.
So if you want to draw like a female character, but you actually make them more like a masculine characters because maybe the abs are a different shape. So that sometimes like that nuance is what's there.
And you'll notice this on a bunch of outfits and stuff too. If you see like armor or different suits and stuff in video games, a lot of the time it will mimic anatomy. Actually, I drew a picture last night. I drew a creature last night, and it's exactly like real. It's exactly real human anatomy. So it's like this, right? It's like a bug person, but all this stuff in here is just real human anatomy, right? You got the arm muscles, you got the leg muscles, you've got the chest muscles. All this is just real anatomy. I'm just bending and stretching the proportions and changing it up a little bit. So funny enough, if you want to do creature art, if you want to do like humanoid creatures and stuff, trolls, goblins, all that kind of stuff, it's all human anatomy, just like bend and stretched and changed a little bit. And armor too. A lot of outfits will mimic the muscle structure of the body.
Yeah. So I like to think of the abs kind of like a sheet that covers the rib cage and the pelvis a little bit. And actually, this is great about the center line is that the center line, please don't forget that the center line isn't completely straight. It's actually slightly curved. So goes in,
the
goes
body's
out.
bulged on the front.
Yeah, the body is bulged on the front. And then, so you really want to make sure you add a very, very subtle S curve. Oh, there's your abs.
You can almost think of it like if you have a box, the front of that box, you're going to have that center line, and it's going to be like this. It's going to be pushed to this side. But on the body, because this is actually kind of bulged out, like, let me do this, like this, and like that, that center line actually shifts even more towards the far side. So that center line is going to be kind of wavy, like, you know, belly button and all of that, but it's going to be really, really, really pushed towards the far side. And so I would err on the side of pushing it too far this way than too far that way.
Yeah,
because it's just going to look like they're kind of inflating their belly a little bit, or they're kind of just more rounded on the front. It's a really good little tip.
Yeah. And so when you're drawing abs, another thing to think about is that round form. It's not flat, it's not waffle abs. It's not like, it doesn't look like a grid. So it's rounder.
Little sleepy Toby back there.
Oh my gosh, he's in a weird pose. He's silly. So round this out. Really try to feel that form. A lot of figure drawing is about feeling the form and rotating that around.
Key, yes. We're actually live streaming on YouTube right now. You can go back and rewatch the stream as many times as you want. Our YouTube channel is @DrawAnimeAcademy. Same name as our TikTok. Proceeds to draw waffle abs.
These aren't waffle abs, I'm telling you. So they're divided into 4 packs. The top 3 are the smaller ones. The bottom one right here, which is for like the pubic area, is going to be the largest one. And this part, what makes it look like waffle abs is no overlaps. So this, I want to show like the elevated muscle. And there's an overlap.
Have we thought about repurposing our TikToks for Instagram and Facebook Reels? We haven't done any Facebook stuff. Instagram, we've done some of it. All of our more recent shorts, we're putting on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram. But not really our old stuff as much. A lot of different artists interpret abs serratus and rib cages differently. Yeah, they're all pretty much the same forms, though. They're all basically just getting to the end result in different ways.
Some people like to draw abs like this, where they'll just imply the center line, and then they'll just like do that. So if you want to draw like a leaner male character, just implying the sides and kind of make it look like an 11 would be, perfect. You don't have to define the abs like all the time. It's only if you really think that it looks cool. Totally fine. Other times you can just leave it simpler, just like that. All right, so the next couple muscles is our ribcage muscles. There's one on the back, which is called your lats. I like starting with the back.
It's been about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Should we speed up a little bit on these?
Yeah, we'll speed up a little bit on this. Your lats is a sheet, and it goes and attaches actually to the ribcage, like that.
Latissimus dorsi.
Latissimus dorsi.
I bet you Stonehouse has a really good breakdown of the latissimus dorsi.
Yeah, and it gives a little bit of extra depth, but it's a pretty thin sheet of muscle. Then you have your muscles on your rib cage, which is your serratus anterior. I wish there was shorter name for it, but it basically looks like avocado slices, or like little dragon scales if you want to be like, if you like dragons. Kind of looks like this, alternating curves or alternating angles. Kind of looks like intersecting fingers, like this. That's what it does to the rib cage, and it also does that to your obliques, which is the next muscle, and that is following your sides.
That makes sense. Look.
What?
Latissimus dorsi.
Yep.
Coming up, connecting to the back of the arm right under here.
Oh, okay.
With the teres major.
Okay, interesting. And look, the way how it connects to the obliques at the bottom is really cool too.
Yeah, that is interesting. I did notice that recently as well.
So your obliques will basically end right where the pelvis starts. Right there. So it's kind of just like rolls over to the side. Here's your obliques again. Wow, there's muscles. Now that looks fancy. Actually looks like a really nice drawing. I like it. I always feel very proud of when I'm doing a demo and the drawing actually turns out pretty good and not like an abomination.
There it is.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's cool. All right, so that is like your basic torso muscles. That's really it. It's just sternocleidomastoid. Actually, I'll just color it really quick because I like coloring. And coloring helps me to remember these things more easily. So you're not like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how to memorize it. Well, just color it and try your best to differentiate between the muscles.
And if you feel like you can't really do this very well, I would say just do it like 20 times.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to fail at it and just try again.
Yeah, allow yourself to take the time to understand it.
Yeah, just like there's like, who cares? Like just do it a bunch of times, try it, have fun, learn. It's like a process of learning rather than perfection.
Yeah.
Focus on enjoying the process of learning something new.
Trust me, you're not gonna get it for a very long time. It just takes the practice. Like you're gonna be drawing these muscles, you'll be like, I still don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. That's normal. That's normal. You will be able to get it the more you practice it. All right, so there is I want to do my abs.
You making abs yellow?
I just make abs yellow for some reason. I don't know why. I find that sometimes I use all the colors of the rainbow, and I'm like, what color do I use now?
You always make all the muscles the same color?
Yeah.
For some reason, I do feel like obliques are blue.
I know. I just feel like obliques are blue to me. Serratus anterior is always gonna be green because avocado slices. Pecs are always gonna be red because red is iconic color. That's how I like to associate the muscles with the colors. And then lats are always brown. I don't know why. It's just brown. Makes sense for me. It's easier to see. But yeah.
Maybe I should do the same colors as you just to keep it consistent with each other.
If you want to. Yeah, sure. So now we're going to talk a little bit about arms. Yeah. So the arms, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of muscles on the arms. This right here is your triceps. Appears on the back. Right here. Right there. That's your triceps. So if I turn this in the same orientation, here's my deltoid. My biceps going to be in the inside. Here's my tricep on the other side. Oops, sorry. Here's my tricep on the other side, in the middle, and we'll talk more about some of those muscles later. This is my brachialis. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Here's my bicep, because we're looking at this from the front now. A little bit of the tricep. So the triceps and the biceps really add bulk to the arms. So that's why, like, if you make the rib cage and the pelvis like way too big, and you add muscles on top, it's just gonna look kind of weird.
You might need to swallow.
I do. I might need to swallow. I realized I was getting like build up
like a
bubble in my throat.
Hello, everybody. Sound like Stitch. What this? This is all full.
Okay.
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
All right. So yeah. Oh, oops. I like cold water. I'm kidding. I'll just deal with this one. All right. So now we have torso muscles. Let's talk a bit about arms. Actually, Colton, do you want to talk about arms? Do you want to switch a bit and practice some arms?
Nah, you can keep going.
No? Okay.
I can chime in here and there.
All right. So yeah, there's our torso muscles in a nutshell. Let's talk about the arms. So we talked about earlier that the arms is like the upper arm and the lower arm is about the same. Is about the same length, minus the hand. Hand is like a little attachment at the bottom. Notice that I'm not even drawing this hand perfect. It's just there. This is a shape. You can use this for like, bending the arm. So like, oh, I want my upper arm here, but maybe I want my my lower arm here, and here's my hand. Oh, looks pretty good in a pretty good position.
I was following along, but now I have to eat.
Oh.
Good thing it's gonna be a VOD.
Yeah. Go back where you left off.
But it is fun to watch live.
It is. I feel like
it's exclusive.
I find that watching things live is more helpful for me to retain information more than like a video sometimes. I don't know, maybe it's because I just see videos differently. But anyways, let's draw some boxes.
Yeah, we started messing with YouTube thumbnails. We took like a really long video earlier in front of our green screen where Christine and I just made like all these poses together, like and and like all these things. So we're gonna start using those for our YouTube thumbnails. Just because we're like, we never make thumbnails for YouTube live streams, but we notice when we do, it gets way more views. So we're just like, all right, let's just do it.
Let's just do it. And it's kind of fun, actually. It's like planning it and stuff. We don't feel like we're in a rush. So yeah, here is the box for the arm, box for the lower arm. As Colton talked about earlier, the front of the arm, like your bicep, is narrower than the side of your arm.
Yeah, like even if you look at this dude right here, here's his arm. There's the front. This part right here, narrower. If I turn it to the side, it gets a lot wider.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let me just take this arm because I think I want to just draw this arm really quick. Let's do...
Where did we get the figure? It's from 3D Total.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how much they are. They might be over like $100 or something. It might be a little expensive. It's been a couple years since we got it.
This box looks kind of wonky. Your arm, your forearm, cylinder, wrist.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I agree. Sense of urgency and immediacy from seeing something live is helpful for staying engaged.
Yeah.
And unhelpful when you have something else you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Your deltoid attaches to the side of this box.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it, and your brachialis and stuff, a lot of it is like this kind of chain link shape. But I feel like there's a better form. But I think for now the chain works.
Those are so cool.
Oh yeah, those are really cool.
This guy's so good at drawing, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Actually, wait a second. This is... I did this backwards.
What?
I think this is the deltoid. This is the bicep because it's narrower.
What are you drawing from?
Chain.
Oh, the chain.
And this is your this is your forearms.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of looks like that now.
Yeah, where are those? Did I have any breakdowns of arms in this sketchbook of mine? I might. Let me look. I think maybe just these.
Sure, Miley, you can send it over on studies.
Yeah, a simpler version of that chain. Not a simpler version, but a little bit more complicated version is something like that.
I actually really like that. I want to draw that.
All right, sure. It's basically like this bulged out cube.
Yeah.
The upper and the lower, and then the bicep and tricep and all that is just basically just like that box.
Yeah.
And then a box comes out as the wrist as well.
It's like blending a bunch of wrenches together.
Yeah, it is kind of like a wrench, so it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that breakdown. It's very what's the anatomy guy's name?
Bombs.
Gottfried Bombs wrote a book. We don't have the physical copy of it. I should probably order one.
I think so too. I feel like it'd be really helpful to show on stream
but,
too.
He has some really good simplifications.
This is a coffin.
And then here, like this. The arm comes out like this.
Oh, okay.
The
wrist comes out like that. Okay, hold on one second.
Depending on the orientation, whether it's like supinated or pronated or whatever.
Let me see. Okay. I didn't do this right. Okay. Did this go? Oh, it goes past that.
This would like hook back in.
Okay. See, like I've never drawn arms like this before, so it's kind of new to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's an interesting breakdown, though.
I like it.
It's pretty useful.
Yeah.
You don't have to draw it like that. It's just one way.
But like I find that this form actually keeps the muscles in mind as well. So I like it. Actually, I need to make this like way smaller.
Anatomy for Sculptors talks about the chain a lot as well. It's not the only place that breaks it down. A lot of people break down the upper or the arm with a chain. I could try to find it. You know who's super stinking good at anatomy?
Who?
That Bulgarian sculptor guy. What's his name?
Oh.
I think he's Bulgarian.
I don't remember.
The funny guy with the unibrow.
Oh.
What's his name? Nikolai something. His YouTube channel's like Speed Care.
Speed Care, yeah. Speed Care is great.
He's super good at anatomy.
I learned a lot of ZBrush
I would look
from
up
him.
his stuff. He's a sculptor, but that guy knows anatomy really well. YouTube Nikolai something. Speed Care. This dude, 102,000 subscribers.
He's really good at anatomy.
I don't know. He doesn't have his name on his YouTube channel. Speedchar. He's extremely good at anatomy. He has a couple anatomy classes out there as well. Let me try to find that chain breakdown.
So there's a few muscles when it comes to the arms. Let's just draw a few more arms. I like doing this one. We'll do this one here. We'll do a side view because side views are fun. What I actually like to do is draw a rectangle.
Well, those are nice.
Right here. Another rectangle right here.
Really nice breakdown.
And that's my proportion. I make sure that the rectangles are roughly the same size. This is where my elbow attaches. So it kind of looks like that.
You know what would be like the ultimate dedication?
What?
If you were to make an anatomy book and you were like the nude model in the book.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like the teacher is the model.
Oh
like
my.
I have the ultimate. And then like after you die, you like donate your body to like science or something.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
that's
just
pretty
full
dedicated.
commit.
That is full commit.
Full dedication. My life and soul are for the purpose of education.
So here, let's actually break this down. Here we have the deltoid. It's actually pretty big. Let me actually measure this really quick. I feel like the deltoid is actually at the 1/3 mark.
Well,
So if we draw this arm,
I'm about to riot. I can't find
upper
this.
arm, and we divide it into thirds.
Oh my god.
Found it?
I found something cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's sick.
The 1/3 mark is where your deltoid is going to end. So that's how big you want your deltoid to be. It's pretty big. Covers a lot of the arm. A lot of people end up making it too small, but I say go bigger.
Interesting.
And it's kind of like this gem-like shape.
Bro, there's so much to learn about like anatomy and stuff. This is actually a really sick diagram as well. Look
Actually,
at this.
Something that I never noticed before.
This one right here.
Oh, that's sick.
That's a really nice
Is that a
diagram
bicep?
of how the arm works.
It's like a pulley.
Yeah, that's a good diagram.
So here, you'll notice that the deltoid is actually landing at a slightly off-center.
Here it is.
Slightly off-center. It's because it's going behind the bicep. So you want to draw it slightly a little bit to the side. Like that.
So here's the breakdown in anatomy for sculptors relating the arm to a chain. You know, your deltoid, your bicep and tricep, and then your radiobrachialis, and then your like wrist and everything. It's kind of like that. It's a really good breakdown. It's interesting. Man, that took a long time. I didn't realize arms were like all the way in the back of the book.
Oh man. So now we got our deltoid.
What book is that? This is Anatomy for Sculptors. If you want to go to our YouTube channel, we're live streaming there too. You can back up the stream. I talked about a whole bunch of anatomy books earlier in the stream. But yeah, this is Anatomy for Sculptors. Pretty good book.
Bicep is always going to be on the inside of the arm. So this is the front. It stays. You're just changing rotations, and it's not going anywhere else. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be down here. It's always going to be in this position. So always try to rotate the arm in your head and just seeing like, oh, this is staying in this position, that's staying in that position. It's hard because like all the muscles kind of look the same initially. But anyways, here's your bicep. Your tricep is actually higher. It actually has a little bit of a higher bump. So if you look at the alternating curves, it's like short curve, long curve for the bicep, short curve for the tricep.
That's pretty good, Miley.
Oh, I really like that, Miley.
That's
Wow.
nice. That's a good breakdown.
Sick. That's a great breakdown.
I can show it on stream
Let's
if
show
you
it
want.
on
Miley,
stream.
do you want
That
me to
basically
show it
looks
on
like-
stream?
That almost looks like, that looks very much like my drawing. I'm like actually shook. That's
Studies,
crazy.
Share. So Miley in the chat has been going along and following along during stream. So here's her breakdown of the torso, following along with the anatomy. This is great stuff.
Holy crap! I actually want to see the
A
comparison.
lot of good stuff. And here's her.
Yeah, like no difference.
Here's her character.
Oh, cute! I love that.
Very cute. Slayly.
Slayla.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't combine Miley with Slay. Sorry.
So here, you can see that the tricep is actually split into two muscles, two parts. So it kind of looks like this, and it hinges. There's these two little tendrils that hinge at the condyles of the elbow.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So your arm bones are actually pretty interesting. Your upper arm bone, your humerus, at the top, it's a ball joint. So it has like a ball at the top. I could actually draw like a little demonstration. So basically at the top of your humerus, you've got this ball joint like this, right? And it allows you to rotate. It's harder to draw an arrow than a body, dude. Okay. It allows you to rotate in 360 degree, 180 directions, right? Top is a ball joint. You go to the bottom, and it's basically a cylinder. It's kind of like this, all right? So this is the bottom of your humerus. This is where your elbow is, all right? Your tibia, not your tibia, what's in your leg? Your ulna, sorry, is like a wrench. So it kind of like goes around like that, right? And your ulna is actually your elbow. So this is like your elbow.
So that actually is on the center.
Yes, it connects to the center of that cylinder, right? So it connects right here, all right? And then on the outer edge is your radius. And that, when your hand is pronated, which means facing down, it will basically come up and over like this. Like that. So it kind of wraps over. And then when your hand is supinated, like holding a bowl of soup, they're actually parallel to each other. So when your hand is supinated, they're more like, you've got that and that. It's kind of like this. So this one is thick. Your ulna is thick by the elbow and thin by the wrist. And your radius is thin by the elbow and thick by the wrist. So they're kind of like opposing like that. And then, of course, your hand, so that would be supinated. Your hand would be like this.
Wow. So they're kind of parallel.
Yeah, that's basically how the bones in your arm work. It will flip over when your palm is down. So it kind of looks like this, like that. And then when your palm is up, they'll be parallel to each other. And the ulna connects to the middle of your arm, and that's actually your elbow right there. And then your radius connects to like the outside of your arm, and it like wraps over. Something uncomfortable about the bones looking twisted like that? No, it's actually really cool, because then your brachioradialis kind of mirrors the shape of that radius going over. It's really cool, actually.
It looks like a twist.
Yeah.
Like that.
And you can really see it in that drawing that I did recently of that creature. Let me go get it. So
what it does.
The arm muscles in this creature right here, this little twist going around, that's your radiobrachialis, and that very much mimics what your bone is doing in your arm.
And we'll talk about the brachioradialis and stuff in a bit. So here's our tricep. Our elbow is kind of like this very simple, let me think. That's not a very good way to draw it. Looks like this. It's like a triangular prism. Looks like that. So when we draw that, it's basically just like this right here.
Your computer crashed, but you're back. Hopefully your files survived.
So there's two muscles that kind of interplay with each other. In between the bicep and the tricep is your brachialis. This is like a small muscle kind of sandwiched in between these muscles. It's a deeper muscle, but sometimes it pops out and it's right in between these two. Then comes the brachioradialis. And the reason why it's called the brachioradialis is because it attaches to your radius. And so that actually shows, I don't have any muscle on my arm because I don't work it out, but the when you turn, this muscle will go on top like that.
Yeah, you can literally see it right
You
here.
literally see it on here.
Like
See
that.
it right there, right there.
That muscle.
Yeah, so when he's turning it, it's
connects
on that radius
to
side.
the side and it goes over.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see. There's
hard to see.
The lighting in here is really flat, so it doesn't describe form very much.
Kinda
That
see it
is
on here, though.
that is literally the muscle. Yeah, right,
That's the
right
muscle. It's
here.
kinda
So
big.
it attaches like to the side of your arm, like right here. And you can see it. It really bulges over. That's a very prominent muscle in the arm. That's what gives the arm a lot of its form.
It's kind of aesthetic, to be honest. I like it.
It is. It's super
It's a
aesthetic.
really good, like, looking arm muscle. It's probably one of my favorite parts of drawing the arms is drawing this part because it just makes, like, it just looks professional. Looks really good. Bye, Koi.
Bye-bye.
And then here, this is where things get a little bit more confusing because your arm can rotate back and forth. So as we talked about pronation and supination. Supination is when your hand is facing up. That means like you're holding a bowl of soup. Your palms are facing up. Pronated is when your palms are facing down. And so when your palms are facing down, you have this like thing happening where your radius is going to the other side. If it's supinated, it stays parallel. So when you're drawing the forearm muscles, there's two different muscle groups. There's the, let me just draw a hand really quick. Thumb side here, pinky side here. There's two muscle groups. Thumb side, extensors. Flexor side, sorry, pinky side is your flexors. So always remember that. Extensors is on your thumb side. Flexors
It's a nice
on
little
your pinky
breakdown
side.
here.
Oh, I really like that. They're actually at an off angle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because that's your radial brachialis right there, right?
Oh, okay.
On your thumb.
So it kind of looks like that. When it's twisted over to the other side, the extensors dominate.
That is kind of cool. There's literally endless amount to know
Yeah.
About anatomy. Look,
there
they
really is.
compare it to sausages too.
Oh, sausages.
Sausage
Interesting.
fingers.
Sausage fingers?
We have a TikTok that went viral with
Oh, it
that.
says sausages are not round.
Fingers are not round.
So they're not sausage fingers.
No, it says fingers are not round. They said no sausage fingers.
Yeah, no sausage fingers. So that means the extensors, this whole extensor group will actually be on the top, and the flexors will be on the bottom. So I know that this is like the most confusing part, and that's why I hate teaching forearms sometimes, is because it's just so confusing. Nobody will get it until they just draw it a bunch of times. But in here, your wrist and your elbow form a straight line. Was that right, Colton?
What, huh?
Wait, what was it that forms a straight line? Like on the like an arm that's like bent.
Is that your ulna, right?
It's your ulna, right? Okay.
Your ulna coming from your elbow to your
To the base of your wrist?
yeah, to your thumb side, right?
To your thumb side. So it's like this?
Yeah, to your thumb side, to your pinky side.
Your pinky side? I don't know where the ulna is.
The ulna is the elbow, right?
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't
So
it
that's
go
like a
down?
straight line. Okay. So your extensors will be on top. You'll see a bit of bone, and then the flexors will be on the bottom in this model. So that's why it's very confusing. So sometimes, like, if you look at your arm and you flex it, like, you'll see that okay, I see it. You'll see that a bit of the ulna popping
That's
out.
sick, dude. It's cool.
And there's your flexors. So there's some arm anatomy. This one's the hardest, I think, in my opinion, to
Yes.
teach. It's
And
very hard.
I feel like we went into more detail than we intended to.
I
It was
know. Why
fun.
do we
Don't get me
always do
wrong.
this?
It was a lot of fun.
We do this
right?
all
We're
the time,
learning
though.
too.
I know. Anyways, I was supposed to cover some legs. I'll do simpler legs this time. I know. This is the bad habit that I
Look,
do. Is I always go so in
I'm
depth.
trying to use this to learn as well. I am farming chat to learn anatomy.
Farming chat. Thank you, Kiki.
Thank you for all the follows, by the way. I don't know why y'all are following us. This is literally the thing everybody tries to avoid.
I know.
People are like, oh my gosh, anatomy? Follow.
Well, actually, I think everybody wants to learn anatomy. It's
Yeah.
just they don't want to learn the beginning.
It's like, oh no, I hate anatomy. Follow.
Yeah, you guys
Wonderful.
are masochistic.
Thank you, everybody, for the follow.
Yes,
Scar,
thank you.
Love me and that. Shaggedy. Music, pipe, fighters, just, Phoebe, JGK, stars, Alex, Ray,
Yay,
Fishy
Ray.
Fun, Jenny. Thank you for the follows, everybody.
Okay, let's make this. I like this drawing, so I'll make it a
the
little
legs
bigger.
detailed also.
Oh my gosh.
Saw you guys on my FYP and have been here interested for the past 30 minutes. Awesome.
Oh,
It
thank
feels
you.
really useful.
It does. People like useful. That's why people stay. You
That's
know?
one of the reasons things go viral is because things are useful.
Yeah. All right, we'll do legs.
Practical value. It's not really that practical. I mean, most people, like, it's not going to improve your lives at all learning this, but it's sick.
It's sick. It's not gonna improve your life. It's gonna improve your drawing life.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it'll really improve your life. So what are you talking about? Our stream is very important.
So
You know,
I'm
that's
gonna
as
actually draw
important.
this on a different layer.
Getting the that wonderful serotonin from petting cats. Snuggling
Yes.
with them. Could you cover for me the smash muscle in the middle of the arm? You mean the brachialis?
Honestly, I don't really have much information. I know where it is, but like I need to actually study that muscle more in depth.
It's underneath the bicep. It kind of gives your bicep volume.
Yeah.
I want to buy the XP Pen Artist 13.
like
It's
padding.
worth it. I don't know. I've never used an XP pen, but I've heard good things.
I'm gonna just draw the pelvis really quick. The thing is about like legs and stuff, is you gotta draw like other things in order to make it look like legs. So like, I have to draw like a bunch of preliminary drawings. All right, so you got your pelvis.
Player, yeah, you can go to the Discord server and share your stuff in any of the art share channels or studies share if you want. We don't review art on stream. We'll occasionally show someone's work. But yeah, you can join the Discord server. If anybody's interested, we do have a Discord server. You can send us a direct message on TikTok and ask for the invite, and I will send it to you. Otherwise, you can go to our website, drawanime.com. Or if you're on YouTube, you can go check out our Discord server invite on our website in the description of the video. You just go to our website and you'll scroll down and you'll see our invite. But for most of you who are on TikTok, you can just send us a direct message, ask for the Discord invite, and I'll DM it to you. I gotta go copy the invite though.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about feet and hands, just a little bit though. But for now, I like to just simplify it to this kind of triangular, boxy shape.
There we go.
Here's my heel.
Thank you, Dahlia.
Here's my toe box, and I just simplified to that. And actually the feet is really good at showing perspective. So like, oh, it's good at showing where the leg is going to be facing us. Is this leg facing towards the side or not? And so yeah.
What brush are you using? You can get the brush for absolutely free in our Discord server if you type !brush in any of the Discord channels, or you can get it on our website, drawanime.com. It's just free download. It is this exact brush, the only brush that pretty much ever gets used on stream.
Yep.
Although I've been thinking of making a new round brush.
New ultimate brush.
A new ultimate brush for doing some fun silhouette things.
So I'm going to go and cut straight to the chase when it comes to forms of the leg. The forms of the leg are cylinders for the most part. You can definitely simplify them into boxes, but I find that actually implying a little bit of thickness on the edge of the leg before it gets thinner helps a lot. And this is actually a bit of anatomical information, which we'll talk about later. But I always like to make it a little bit thicker towards the middle, then gravitate it more thinner towards the kneecap.
What's that, like the vastus lateralis? That's kind of implying it?
Or maybe
Or is
I
that-
think the tibial, iliotibial tract, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that is as well.
And another thing I like to do here is I like to bulge this out.
Because that leg's facing us.
Yeah. This leg is facing more towards the side, so we'll actually see more of a bulge coming out from the top of the leg.
Oh, that's
Cylinder.
fun, Axel. Awesome. Showed your books to
Oh,
my friend and they
thank
love them so
you.
much they ordered them as well.
Yay!
Glad to hear it.
Here on the outside of this leg, on the outer side, it's going to be a smooth curve. Goes down to the ankle, smooth curve. The inside of this leg is going to have a slight bump that's a little bit higher, so it's asymmetrical. Then we got to overlap, and then here is your ankle. The ankle, I think, kind of looks like a wrench, and it's generally higher on the inside of your leg. Oh wow, looks nice, doesn't it? Calf comes out. You know, you can definitely start off with cylinders and add that form on the outside, but I'm kind of just making it more simple. So I like to protrude the calf more just to show that like difference in form. And we'll talk about leg muscles really soon. This right here is a simple curve because this is actually showing a bit of the hamstrings, and it's I don't like to make my legs bulky like this. In fact, I try to make sure that there's one simple curve, one more bowed out curve. Bowed out curve, simple curve. So that's like a very extreme version of this. But I think it works. You know, I think it works.
I'm gonna show how to connect these shoulders. One way that I've seen shoulders demonstrated is you kind of draw the shape of the like the egg of the, what's it called, the rib cage, and then they kind of put like this little archway on it, like sitting on top. Here. Yeah, like I've seen some people simplify shoulders as like this. They go like that.
Oh, yeah. It's like a little bridge.
Yeah. That could be one way to simplify them as well. Of course, this would be like that. I thought that was kind of an interesting way to break it down, but there's a lot of ways to break it down. It's just whatever works best for you.
I like to I like to use spheres and actually push that pretty close to the actual like torso itself, because it doesn't get any wider. It comes basically immediately after your clavicle.
Although I don't want to get wrapped up on this subject too long.
Yeah.
You can actually go back to the beginning of the video on YouTube. We're streaming there as well. Draw Anime Academy is our username, and you can go check out the earlier part of the stream where we talked about envelope method and shoulder stuff. Kind of got covered a while back, and they're basically just at the edge of that box. Like this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's totally fine to break down the rib cage as a box. That's very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it all the time here.
That's how most people do it. I mean, you never really see the rib cage shape because the shoulders create that box shape. So it's kind of just a simplification.
All right, let's do let's push this over to the other side.
Just make it like a little smaller or something.
Yeah.
What time is it? 7:18. We've been live for about an hour and 46 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's honestly, I thought we would have been on longer.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad. Duplicate. And then, yeah, we'll do that. So in order to add muscles on top, I kind of just add a few, and I just imply it.
Are all your streams on YouTube? Yes, they are.
Yes.
You can just go to the live tab on our YouTube channel, and all of our past streams are there. You can rewatch them as many times as you want.
I like starting off with the sartorius, which is a band of muscle that attaches to the front of your pelvis, and it wraps around. So this actually splits the leg into a top and bottom. It splits the leg into two parts, and it usually goes on the inside, like that. Here's the inside of the leg. Here's the inside of the leg. Now here's our quads. Our quads are our main. It's like a very, very prominent muscle group. Actually, I need to draw this muscle right here. This is your tensor fascia, which is kind of like part of your glutes. Then your medius, then your maximus. So your glute muscles kind of hang out a little bit wider and expand. The side of your leg is a tendon. I think it's called the iliotibial tract. Wraps around the leg. Then in the middle right here is where your quads are. You have a top quad, which is on up here. And you have one on the side, on the outside, and you want to have one on the inside. So actually I want to make it a little bit more uneven because it's actually asymmetrical as well. Then you have a fat pad over your knee. Which kind of creates that like really interesting shape in the knee. And then you also see a little bit of this like bone right in here. Here is a ball of muscle attached to the side of the kneecap, which is shown right in here. Now this is the part where things get really kind of a little bit confusing. There's a group of muscles on this side of the leg on the outside that covers a bit of the shin bone. This is in your tibialis anterior group. Kind of think of it like your forearm muscles. And then the back is your calf. It actually appears in the back too. Here's your calf. Tibialis anterior. Rotates and lands on top right here. Then you got your quads. And your inside quad here. There's 3 kinds of quads. They're all named differently. We got one on the top, one on the side, and one on the outside. And then here are your adductors. Adductor groups. And here's your hamstrings in the back. Yeah, leg muscles.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a little bit fast, but I find that leg muscles in a way are sometimes actually easier than drawing arm muscles. It's more of a personal preference though. Feet. You can treat the ankle like a wrench. You have the middle part of your foot, which is kind of shaped like this cylinder. You have your heel, which is flat on the bottom but round on the outside. And then you got your toe box, which is, generally kind of flat, but for the sake of making it pretty, we'll make it more pointed. That looks like that. So you can actually add shoes onto this and it'll look fine. You can even add like a little heel. Oh wow, it's a shoe now. That's cool. That's cool, isn't it? The feet widen towards the toes. Here's your heel. Here's your toes. Toe box. Simple. There we go. Legs and feet. So we got proportions. Let me merge this. Simple arm and leg muscles. And we got some feet. We kind of covered hands a little bit. Didn't do it a lot. What I do for hands, I'll just do it really, really simply, is I like to think of hands like bending a piece of paper. So if you can draw like one plane like this, and you can draw another plane connecting here and another plane like bending back a little bit, like then you can draw a hand. It's really simple. It's just trying to make sense of what's going on with the hand and how to group it, right? So if you can draw this, you can turn this into a hand. Here's a wrist.
Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Go ahead. Can you give me a hair tie? Actually, no, I don't think you know where my hair ties are, so that's fine. It's okay. Her head drawer is the only reason I could finally draw the head. Well, thank you. I feel very flattered. Let's keep drawing. Sure, I'll look at it. Art share 1. Oh, wow. Is it the rainbow dash? Hey, that's awesome. That looks great. Ooh. I can definitely see. Wow. Nice muscles. Nice forms. Very good work. Looks great. I like. I very much like. Are the obliques the very end, in the very end, the same as the ones near the serratus anterior? Aren't they V-shaped? So your obliques, they're not, I don't know if they're V-shaped, but it's this whole muscle group right in here. It surrounds it's like on the outside of the abs, and it connects to the serratus anterior. And it actually appears on the back too, like right there.
Oh, there we go. All right, this is kind of starting to drag on. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Maybe we could answer some questions or
Sure.
talk or something. I want to go study.
Yeah, no problem.
Soon.
But yeah, simplifying hands into planes.
All right.
Yeah, fantastic.
So how is everybody doing? Is everybody still awake? Are y'all still here? Well, this is way back.
It's way back there, yeah. I don't know what happened. Sometimes YouTube doesn't update it.
Yeah.
We covered a lot today.
Doing good. Can we review head face anatomy? Doing good. Awesome. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, your biggest fan. You're going to have competition with Fox.
Number 1 fan. I think I feel like torso is always the thing that I like teaching the most with the body, because it just looks good.
Why did you choose to be a teacher? Have you always enjoyed teaching?
I don't know. I started my art career with teaching and making courses, and then I just kind of kept doing it, So, but I also enjoyed, like, teaching's a very useful skill because you can learn and get better at your craft, and you kind of have to be accountable, but you can also, like, improve at the same time. So, and also learn how to explain things, which is a very valuable skill as well, because some people kind of struggle with being articulate, but teaching kind of helps with that, explaining your thoughts clearly. I would say that's why I keep continuing to teach.
I'm getting into drawing. Should I start off with drawing basic shapes or straight into anatomy? I don't really know what you mean by basic shapes, but it's good to start with some foundations.
Mm-hmm. Basic forms.
I would honestly say let's, like, build a YouTube series that focuses on, like, this is yours.
That is my fun.
That focuses on, like, basic foundational, like, if you're just getting started in drawing.
I like that.
Like, that would be kind of fun.
For complete beginners.
Yeah, it's like complete beginner series for intro to fundamentals. That could be kind of good.
Mm-hmm. When drawing the head on the side, they sometimes use perfect circle or oval. Which one is best?
Neither. People use different methods.
Yeah. I find that it's not a perfect circle. It is more elliptical.
Yeah, there's multiple routes to get to the end goal. Different people simplify things in different ways. I wouldn't get too wrapped up on what exact method is the best. Just draw a lot and learn a bunch of different methods and see what works best for you.
A lot of it is figuring it out for yourself, because maybe you're like, I actually don't really like drawing it this way. I want to draw it this way instead. That's totally valid.
Yeah. Lil B, Diana, Lychee, thank you for the follow. Sky, MBG, Larry, Catface, Remikia, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the share. EJJ and Ryu, thank you for the follows as well. Yeah, a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
We've been planning this stream the whole day.
Yes.
And we made the thumbnail like 20 minutes before we started. And we do have a Discord as well. Don't forget about that.
Don't forget our anime art school.
If you enjoy what you're seeing, we do have a Discord server you can join and say hi and share your art and stuff like that. Hang out with people in voice calls, all that good stuff.
Do you like this breakdown?
I feel like female anatomy is easier than male anatomy. Females and males have the same exact muscles, so
yeah.
I think female anatomy is more difficult, like just because there's more to think about, more curves and stuff. But a lot of people draw females more, so they just have more practice with it.
Yeah.
So it can seem that way.
Like, I have an easier time drawing
They're basically
females,
the same.
but
because you've drawn so many
because I've drawn
females.
so many females. It's just because you got the practice.
Yeah, it's the exact same muscles. There's there's
nothing different.
There's not a lot different. Like some of the shapes are different. The muscles are the same. It really comes down to what you're
comfortable with.
Yeah, what you're comfortable with based on what you do a lot.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely easier to make good-looking poses for females.
Yes, that's for sure.
I should say there's a lot wider variety in aesthetic poses
for females, for sure. Like, I completely agree with that. It's very hard for me to come up with like an aesthetic pose for a guy because they kind of look good when they're just standing straight.
Are you still doing OC characters from your Discord? Yeah, sometimes. Usually on like Fridays. How'd you draw the body from the side? That was actually something that was brought up earlier.
Yeah.
It's a series of opposing curves.
Your neck angles a little bit. Then your rib cage comes out. So there's this curve. 1, 2. Then your pelvis comes out. It's this like nice like S shape because your spine is shaped like an S curve, right? So we want to mimic that in a side view. I need to actually draw more side views properly, because sometimes it is a little bit more on the difficult side. Your leg will also have alternating curves. So you got your glutes, back of the leg, boom, boom. A lot of S curves, a lot of repeating S curves.
What's your Discord? You can direct message us on TikTok and ask for the invite, and I'll send it to you.
Kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more graceful.
That's a big one. Like, that's big. Like, is those opposing curves.
Yeah. Like that.
You really want to try and you want to understand, like, those curves. That's pretty important for drawing the side view.
Here's your arm. Maybe it's going to the back. We actually covered how to draw a male body earlier in the stream. If you want to go and rewind to that point, we're also live on YouTube. So we actually did all this.
There's the legs, there was the upper body, all the anatomy, everything, covered arms. Fathumo. I don't even know what that is.
Chuff? I have no idea what that is. You are the only people I can watch and actually learn from. Aw, thank you.
Appreciate it. Still awake. Awesome. When drawing the head side. Okay, we answered that one earlier. Computer just doesn't want to behave today. Interesting.
Aw. We actually did cover perspective with different head shapes. Different perspective for heads. Actually, in the previous stream.
They were anime heads.
They were more anime heads, yes. Well, oops.
But yeah, a lot of
this stuff.
A lot of this. That was on yesterday's stream.
It was. Ooh, 25k likes.
Awesome.
Give some head pats for chitty chat.
I'm ready to wrap up soon.
Me too.
I want to study and stuff tonight.
Me too. Good job, chat. Maybe we'll wrap up after head pats.
Awesome. Great work. 25k likes. People were very busy drawing and watching the stream.
Yes.
And not liking. So, but we made it. We managed it in the end.
I think that's a win.
Will you be in VC tonight? I don't know. I get really distracted in voice chat. Everybody always comes in and yaps, and especially if I'm trying to study. So probably not. It's possible maybe for a little bit.
We are drawing an iPad Pro 13-inch. Yeah. Well, I am ready. How to draw chibi. I should make a chibi YouTube video sometime, actually.
You guys have YouTube? Yup. Same exact username, Draw Anime Academy.
Where is it? I thought I wrote it up here. Yep.
Yeah.
That is our YouTube.
It's cut off completely. Oops. There we go. That might still be cut off for some people.
Oh.
It tends to really crop these sides. Like, it'll literally crop into that much for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do actually have an online school as well. It teaches all this stuff. Like, a lot more, right? There's 7 classes. It's basically an entire college. And so if you like what you saw today and you really want to level up your art, eventually make your own comic or webcomic or manga, you can check out our anime art school on our site, drawanime.com. And yeah, learn a bunch of the basics, fundamentals, that kind of stuff. How long have you guys been streaming? Today, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Can't wait to watch your next live.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're going to talk about.
I don't know yet.
But this was a pretty fun live.
It was fun. Thank you, Dolly.
Oh, I'm excited to go through more of this class tonight. And I want to keep going through anatomy stuff as well.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Covered a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
But I must go practice. I must go do art and and do my training arc. So thank you everybody for hanging out and showing up. We'll be streaming more later on this week. We'll definitely be live Friday. And yeah, thank you. And have a great night. Bye-bye, TikTok. And YouTube as well. I will wrap up on here. Bye-bye, everybody on YouTube. See ya.